It's that time of the month again when I go to Ignite. This time it's in Cambridge. I've never been to Cambridge. Do have to get on a 6:50 AM flight tomorrow, so I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not sure how I'm going to pack for this trip because I only have carry-on luggage. Yet I have to take overnight stuff and all of my camera and video gear. So that's what I'm about to do now. I want to spend as much time in bed tomorrow morning, so I want to get everything sorted tonight, so it's just a case of waking up, rolling out of bed, having a quick shower and grabbing my bags and going. I've packed one pair of trousers, one jumper. I've not packed any hair stuff. I'm basically going to look a mess, but as long as I have my camera and my brain, that's all I need. Gross. I feel surprisingly awake for 4:49 AM, but this morning could have been pretty disastrous. So I bought these charging cables from Amazon for my iPhone. Been using them for a few months and they're okay, but last night I made sure it's charging. Had the little charge icon, set my alarm for 4:30. And this morning when I started to get a bit restless about 3:45, I was like, you're not getting up now. You're staying in bed until your alarm goes off at 4:30. But when I checked my phone, it was dead because it hadn't been charging. So there would have been no alarm, there would have been no plane to London, there would have been no train to Cambridge, there would have been no Ignite, or Ashley at Ignite. So great start. I really wish that I could just click my fingers and be in Cambridge. Shall we try it?
The Ignite program is a totally new way of doing an accelerator. It's designed to support all kinds of technology companies, but in a really flexible and scalable way. So we wanted to be able to invest in companies from all across the country, and to do that we couldn't put a location in just one place and ask everyone to move there. So instead what we do is we ask everyone to join the program remotely, and so they do sessions each week on Skype, on Zoom, they hang out in Slack channels, we support them through that, and then once a month we bring everyone together in a city and we'll do 2 days of workshops and mentoring, and we'll have dinner with everybody. In the last few months we've been in Edinburgh, we've been in London, we've been in Manchester, we've been in Newcastle, and this month we're in Cambridge.
Hi. I am absolutely exhausted. I've been up since 3:45 AM. It's now 7:20. It's been a long day. The Ignite offsites are already really intense, so factoring in all of that travel as well, I'm just exhausted. I know it sounds like my tone of voice is kind of like bleh. It's not because I didn't have a good day, it's just because I am tired. I had a really fun day at Ignite. My highlight was my office hours with Bailey, who's the ex-head of marketing for Monzo, the bank. So I got a lot of value out of my session with Bailey, and yeah, like I can't be bothered talking anymore. I'm just going to catch up on a little bit of work and then catch up on a lot of sleep. Another early-ish start. I'm back in Glasgow. I've recovered from the intensity that is Cambridge. I'll fill you in on how Ignite went later, but for now we're setting off to Dunoon, which is where I spent most of my childhood. I grew up there. We're going to my old high school to talk to some students about starting a business, just telling our story really, and hoping that it maybe encourages a few of them to follow our footsteps. Let's get to Dunoon. It's a car journey to Greenock, Gourock, sorry, and then a boat ride to Dunoon and then a short drive. The ferry that I need to get is currently sailing away from me. I just missed it by 2 minutes. So this is a blast from the past. I used to get the boat to college 5 days a week when I lived in Dunoon. Actually, I lived just outside of Dunoon, so I'd get a bus from Kilmun to Dunoon, ferry from Dunoon to Gourock, and then a train from Gourock to Greenock to go to college 5 days a week, and it didn't seem like a big deal. And now I live in the city where everything's on your doorstep. Coming back to Dunoon, it's not something I do often because my family moved away when I was 17. By that point, I'd left the family home. So I always have this really strange feeling when I go back to Dunoon. It was the last place that I ever lived with my parents. My dad was alive and healthy here. It just invokes a lot of strange emotions. On another note, I am quite nervous about talking to the students. I'm doing it with Callie Russell, who has a really interesting business, Monzo. It's fashion. It's like Tinder for fashion. And whereas I'm going to stand up and talk about my journey in insurance, which if you watched last week's video is sort of similar but much more condensed. Obviously on the surface insurance is really boring, so I'm a bit worried, like how am I going to capture the attention of these? I think we're speaking to 13 to 17 year olds, so how am I going to capture their attention? So I'm a bit nervous about it. Also, I just haven't been back to my school for 12 years. It's nuts. I really don't know what to expect. So I'm back in the office now. I know this video has been really disjointed because I've been all over the place this week. I've been in Glasgow, I've been in Cambridge, I've been in Dunoon, I've been in Stirling, although I don't think I took any footage in Stirling because that was just fun hang times with Rab. But I haven't been doing much narrative, I guess, to tie all of these things together. How did Ignite go? Well, this was actually my favourite Ignite offsite. I had, I think, 5 office hours with mentors. So I had some really quality one-on-one time with amazing, intelligent people. So I really just tried to get as much out of this offsite as possible, which I always do, but I really went in with an idea of what I wanted to take away from it, or what questions I wanted to ask people, what sort of knowledge I wanted to acquire. Hold on, Indy wants to leave this room, 2 seconds. Then I went to Dunoon to speak at my old high school. The whole idea of this was to just get the pupils thinking more entrepreneurially. I spoke with Callie from Monzo and Sam from TickX. They both have taken funding and they're both a lot further along in their journey than I am. It was great to just talk to the pupils, and I was a bit apprehensive because I thought, how interested or engaged can we get these students when I work in insurance? But I really just tried to tell the story of how I got to do what it is I do. It was really rewarding, and if we can even get 1 or 2 pupils to think a bit more entrepreneurially, then it'll have been worth it. Dunoon isn't a big place. I'm just googling the population. The population is about 5,000. It's a tiny place, and I got chills when the deputy head was telling the pupils, like, these are 3 ex-pupils of this school in this tiny little town, and if they can go off and build tech businesses, then you can too. I've also kind of decided I don't think I want to raise money. I think that I don't think I want to raise money. I think I just want to bootstrap this. I think that's the route I want to take, and just bootstrap something and build something that isn't going to be a unicorn, but provides me with a nice life and also does a lot of good for my customers. I think that's what I want.